Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something very, very special with you. We are partnering with Fanhome.com to bring you the start of a series of videos on the build of their amazing 1/8 scale kit model. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Fanhome, it's this amazing company that on a monthly basis, you subscribe, and on a monthly basis, they will send you pieces of kit. And over the course of the ensuing months, you'll actually get to build this car. What makes this different is the sheer quality of the kit model. We're not talking, the ones you did as a kid that are just, fit in the palm of your hand. They're all plastic. You use cement to get them all together. No, this model is metal, and it's almost 2 feet long. In fact, the miniature models they used on the show were 1/8 scale, and they were about 2 feet long. So this is like a kit filming model on steroids. I'm talking working scanner, working headlights, working taillights, T-tops that open, doors that open, hatch that open, windows that go down, license plates that flips around. And all of this can be controlled by a comm link they'll send you too. It's just amazing. Plus, they send you free gifts like full scale night plate, posters, a nice acrylic display box to put your model in. I mean, you just really, really have to check this out. Now, there are other YouTube channels that have done this Fanhome model build. However, this one is going to be different because I'm going to build it also with an eye towards series accuracy, meaning I'm going to look at the parts. I'm going to critique them, and I'm going to see how close they really came to capturing the original kit. Because after all, we're sitting in an original kit. Who better to compare the model with against the actual filming car than the Knight Rider historians, right? So we're gonna go over it with a fine-tooth comb and really, make sure that Fanhome did their due diligence when putting this thing together. So we're going to start here with the first 2 assembly stages. So if you do decide to subscribe, they will send you the first 2 assembly stages right off the bat. And then each month after, you receive 4 assembly stages. So it's really cool to kind of see the car come together. And like I said, you'll see when we start building the first 2 assembly stages, high quality, attention to detail, large scale, very, very cool. If you're interested in signing up for this model, please check out the description below. There's a link to their website. So with that said, I'm excited. Let's get started. All right. So I think there's only one thing left to do before we get going. Let's hit the turbo boost. So before we get into actually building the model, I wanted to show you what you can expect to receive for each month. All right. So we'll start out with some of the documentation, right? So what you see here is pretty much an introductory guide on the car, as well as the instructions for the first month's worth of pieces. All right. So if we look in this guide, the first thing you're going to notice is just really how well done this booklet is, right? We've got high quality glossy paper, great photos, original press photos from Universal Studios, which immediately tells you that this kit is, of a higher quality, right? They have permission from Universal Studios. It's a licensed product, which tells you they had access to their archives to give you these great, great photos. Lots of interesting text, right? About not only the model itself, but about the series, the car, everything, right? So this is what the model will look like when it's done. It has a working scanner. We've got a license plate that flips. If you remember in the second season episode, Brother's Keeper, Kit had his license plate flip. Look at this. They even got the correct plate number, KNI 667. It's that attention to detail that you're going to find throughout this entire model. T-tops that open, hood that opens, doors that open. it's it's really, really amazing. The windows go up and down. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? And if we open this up here, we get a great kind of side profile shot of this model. You can really see just how accurate it is. And as we go through this build, we're going to show you kind of the build quality here. Look at that, 23.5 inches long. The models that they used on the show for a lot of the jumps and the turbo boosts, they were 1/8 scale. This is 1/8 scale. So really, you're going to be building the same size model that they used for filming, except this one is so much more detailed. It's really, really quite amazing. So we've got this kind of introductory book, right? We've got kind of a guide, just an overall info guide on Fanhome and some of the other models that they have. We see the Fast and the Furious Charger. We got Star Wars, Iron Man. I mean, it's just really cool. I highly recommend taking some time to check out Fanhome.com to see what else is available out there. I mean, you might end up subscribing to a whole bunch of different models, right? And then we also have the guide for the build of the first pieces of the car. So you can see here it's nicely labeled 1. We open it up here and we can see we've got Universal Studios. Again, more press photos here, history of the show. I mean, it's just really, really cool the level of detail that they went to in order to make this happen. All right, so we've got that. So now let's take a look at the what you'll actually receive, right? So this is KR001. This is the first pieces of the model kit. This is exactly how you receive it in a blister pack, just like this, right? Turn it over, we got some information. What's I found really interesting is look at this. It is a licensed GM, General Motors product, right? So again, it kind of takes this model to the next level, adds even more credibility to really the whole model, right? It's GM license, it's Universal Studios license. I mean, you really can't get much better than that. One other thing is the model is not plastic. It is metal. It's a metal model, right? I mean, it's going to be very sturdy, very high quality. I mean, I can't wait to dig into this, all right? So we're going to open this in a minute. Let's take a look at some of the other future months that you'll get, right? So here's KR002. We've got the bumper. We've got the scanner. A lot of you guys are going to be excited to build this one, right? Scanner housing and the fog lights, right? As you know, season 1, KITT had 3 fog lights on each side. And then seasons 2 through 4, they scaled back, had 2 fog lights on either side. So we'll take a look. I mean, maybe if you just want the 2 fog light look, you can put 2 in. If you want all 3, you got all 3. So that's really cool. And just kind of looking ahead real quick, we don't want to jump the gun too much, but here's KR003. We've got one of the rims with a metal hubcap, the rim, the tire that even says Goodyear Eagle GT. I mean, actually made of rubber. Very cool. And KR004, the dashboard, gull-wing steering wheel, detailed graphics on the dashboard. Here's KITT's voice modulator. I mean, when we get to this point, we'll show you all the details, but just my first general impression, they really did a nice job with matching graphics, scaling, the sizing, I mean, everything. You can tell they put a lot of work into it. I mean, future ones, we've got, here's KR005, we've got what looks to be a piece of the frame. In reality, the Trans Ams were unibody, right? But here's a piece of the frame. We've got the battery box, followed up the KR006. We've got the engine cradle. We've got a control arm here. Even the control arm is metal. I mean, there was no skimping with this model, that's for sure. All right, so here you can see, here's KITT KR007. We've got what appears to be a piece of a frame. Now, in reality, a Trans Am had a unibody, but of course this is a little bit different. Again, metal, right? Metal. We've got a control arm here, and some shocks maybe, a pan hard bar it looks like, and then KR08, we've got a control arm, I'm not sure what those are. Maybe engine mounts, spring. KR09. Brake parts, rotors. I couldn't even think of the name. Rotors. There's another control arm. There's the steering. So, and this is all, you know, high quality metal pieces, not plastic. It's going to get broken, and not plastic you have to worry about cement, contact cement to put together. And then this is kit KR010. We've got sway bar, tie rods, you know, some hoses, even some tweezers for this step. So one other thing to point out, all of the screws are labeled, you know, the DM, LM, you know, AP, CM, BM. These are from the first kit we're going to go through in a minute. But just very, very well labeled, well organized. So these ones we're going to save for a future build. And let's see what kind of damage we can do, right? So we've got, again, more information on the show, high quality press photos here. Let's go ahead and see if we can find step 1 for our build. All right. So here we go. All right. So step 1 is the vent here, right? So it says here to take the vent and you bend it along the crease here. So did that. And one thing I wanted to point out, I don't know if you can see in this footage, but this vent here, you know, the holes in it are actually 6-sided holes, which is exactly the way the full-size vent is. You know, they could have easily gotten away with just drilling round holes in here, but no, they actually went to the trouble of putting the correct shape holes in that. I mean, that's, you know, just little details like that, I think, are going to make this build something really special. All right, so it says to take this vent and you put it in the hood support. So that's what this piece is. This one is injected plastic, high quality, looks pretty high quality. One thing that I do like is this structure here. So they mimicked the understructure of an actual Trans Am hood pretty closely. I mean, I'd have to compare, but I seem to recall that the way this design is really, really close to what we see on the actual Trans Am hood. All right, so we take this and I believe we feed it through here like so. And then we take 3 screws. So let's put one on here. Looks like that's magnetic, which is always appreciated. And let's go ahead and get these screws in place. All right, so there's 1. And here's 2. And finally, the 3rd one. All right, there we go. The first part is in, the vent. All right, what's next? Looks like we've got the hood latching rod here. So that's this little guy here. And, you know, it's amazing. And I promise I won't do this with every single part, but it's just amazing the detail here. They've molded in, this is a part that just clips in, but they've molded in the bolts and they've recreated this and it's curved. I mean, just perfectly. It's actually kind of amazing. The work that went into even these tiny details that probably no one else would notice. I mean, look at that. It's just the way it would be on a real Trans Am. All right, moving forward. So we've got the hood latch. Let's take a look at that piece. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I just noticed something kind of amazing with this piece. I really did. This is amazing. All right. Let's install it first, and then I'm going to tell you a little story about why someone really knew their stuff with that particular piece. So let's get these screws in. That's actually a little unbelievable, to be honest. I'm gonna leave you in suspense for a minute while we get this put in place here. All right, one screw. We got one more on this side. All right. So take a look at this. Do you see, so this piece right here, whenever you pop the hood on a Trans Am, you have to press this lever to release the hook. This is the safety hook so the hood doesn't, you know, pop and go flying off the car. So you press this and that's what releases the hood to let you open it. On a stock Trans Am, this little button, this lever is actually out here. It's not curved like this. It's straight with the paddle up here. But what most people do on replicas is they have to bend this piece back because the scanner bar's here and this would hit the scanner. And wouldn't you know it, Fanhome recreated that modification that's needed in order to let the hood close on the real car. So that's mind-blowing right there. Just that little detail. Love it, love it, love it. All right, moving on. Next part is the hood vent. What do you want to call this? The intake. Thank you. So let's see. I believe if we flip this over, the intake will sit in these. There's two little pins right here. We're going to sit the intake in. Something like that. And that just sits in there because we're going to take the whole hood and then this kind of gets married up like so. And this is just like on a regular Trans Am hood. This intake piece is separate and you bolt that on. So that's pretty cool. They mimicked that. All right, so we got these pieces on. We got that on. Now it's time to bolt the underpiece to the actual hood itself. And to do that, we're going to need these 6 screws here. So we'll start by getting those screwed in. Maybe, if it wants to behave. I'll take a magnetic screwdriver over a non-one any day for intricate, small screws like this. All right, next. Okay, the next one. Now on stock Trans Ams, they actually have a hood insulation pad that goes over this, but I'm not going to ding the model for not having that, or maybe it will have it later on, I don't know, but at least for now, because the Knight Rider cars, the original filming cars, actually did not have that pad on there. They were removed early on in the filming. So at least as of now, there should not be a pad under there. And I'm guessing there won't be only because I don't see any other mounting screws for a pad, which is good. But if there's a pad later, that's fine too. But so far, accuracy-wise, we are looking really good. All right, so one more down at the bottom there. Take a look at that. That is a, I got my fingerprints all over it. We'll buff that out later. Yeah, so that's the hood. It's, you know, it weighs, I don't know, 12 ounces, 10, 12 ounces. So it's a decent size hood and it's a decently weighted hood. It feels well built. Oh, those points are sharp. So, all right, so moving on, looks like the last pieces we have are these 3 little guys, which appear to be one of the hinges, hood hinges. And I believe, let's see, the left-hand hood hinge. So take this guy and we're going to place him right here. And we'll get that screwed into place. Assuming I actually have it in the hole. Yes, I do not. Let's try this again. Come on. Maybe if I didn't put the screws in first. Yes, I think that's going to be a little bit easier. They actually kind of fit down in the posts to kind of hold it in place. So I probably should have just done it that way to begin with. All right, so we got the one, and where's our other screw? Get this one in right behind it. Excellent. All right. There's the one hood hinge. The other one is not in this package, so that must be coming in a future build. But let's see what else we have. So lastly, we have some of the hood hinge, more of the hood hinge pieces, right? So looks like we need to take this one and place it maybe right here. Can we do this without tweezers? Let's see. Oh yeah, got that one. Now I don't want to make this too tight. It says in the instructions, don't make it too tight because you want to be able to open and close the hood with relative ease. Now that's still a little too loose, I think. All right, we'll leave it there for now. And then finally, the last piece. And by the way, I had sorted opened all the screws and laid them out, but the books really tell you, look, DM, it's a DM screw, CM screw. So they make it super, super easy to figure out which screw is which, assuming you are able to keep all of these straight and not get them all mixed up, which I've been known to mess something like that up. So I'm trying to stay organized for you guys for this build. All right, and we want that one loose too. So there we go. So you can see here we've got our two hood hinges in place, or two pieces of the hood hinge. The rest of it will come in a future build. All right, and I believe that is the end of the first assembly stage. Yep, see, then it goes into more information about the show. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the second assembly stage packet. This one also comes with your initial subscription, your very first month. And once again, let's move this off to the side here. This looks like to be a fun one, right? We've got the front nose. And one thing I wanted to point out, first of all, again, nice high quality metal. And one thing I'm looking at here is the shape of the nose. A lot of times on these models, they don't get the shape right? And this one, I've got to say, and I'm not just saying this, it's really impressive. It really is. I mean, look at the side profile there. Look at the front profile. A couple things I want to note. So the original front nose was designed by a man named Michael Chaffee. He was a former designer at Mattel. And when he sculpted this, he sculpted the nose with these curves in it and these angles, and it just really is timeless. But one thing I wanted to point out, if you hold it dead on, do you see how this line kind of bows down and comes back up? We call that the Chaffee smile. At least I call it the Chaffee smile. And this model captured that perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And then, of course, we got the scanner opening, and then this is where the turn signal acrylic, tinted smoked acrylic will go to cover those pieces. Now, this is another thing that kind of blows my mind. Let's take a look at the bottom of this front nose. Do you see how this is angled like this? This piece is angled like this. The original screen used front noses have this exact same cutout on it. And frankly, it kind of surprised me that this model had that. I was expecting it to just kind of be straight across or maybe a curve or something, but no. They replicated even the bottom of the nose perfectly. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Yeah. All right. So we got that. We've got pieces, obviously the scanner lens. Looks to me maybe the scanner housing. And we've got some fog light pieces, right? We've got the lens, the back of the housing, and then the bezel. And one thing I wanted to point out about the bezel here. Take a look at this. Do you see... Hopefully you can see this. Molded into the plastic, there's two tiny little screws on each side. They're not real screws, they're just molded in. But the original fog lights for the car were the bezels were held on by 2 screws at that side. So amazing that that detail is in there. I mean, so cool, so cool. All right, let's check out book 2, see what we got here. More behind the scenes information. Did you know? Biographical information on Hasselhoff. I did sneak peek some of the future books, and they do episode breakdowns with trivia and other information, and really, really well done. In fact, I'm thinking the fine folks at Fanhome probably use some of the content on the Night Ride Historian's channel to feed some of the data in these books, which is such an honor, right? That they were using that to help really make this top-notch and very accurate. So, all right, so we can see here we've got the front nose. So let's get started. So step 1, we've got the front nose. Fix the light bracket on the shorter left side pin on the inside of the front bumper. So we have the bumper here, left side over here. We got this little guy. They're calling this a light bracket. Now, I am not sure how that fits into the show, because the show cards didn't have that. But maybe it's going to be put on here for a reason we don't yet know about. So let's go ahead. So left-hand side, so it goes on over here for now. Where are tweezers? Because I think my fat hands are not going to be able to fit down in here. So let's go ahead and try and get this in here carefully. And can I get a screwdriver down in there? Maybe. There we go. Interesting. So it puts that in the front. So wondering if that has a use for something. Guess we'll find out. All right. So the next step looks to be assembling one side of the fog lights. So that's right here. So for those of you who are not familiar, KITT had, in the first season, had 3 fog lights on each side, right? 3 sets of fog lights covered with grills. By the second season, they reduced that to 2 on each side. Well, midway through the second season. So this model is calling for 3 on both sides. So we're going to put all 3 in. But I'm just thinking, you know, maybe this is an opportunity for those of you out there who are building this. Maybe you only want 2 on each side. That would still be accurate. So you could certainly probably just have 2 instead of the 3 on each side. Now, let's see what the steps tell us. So take the lens, right, and put it in the bezel. Let's see if I can do that. Yes, not hard at all. All right, so then we're going to take these parts, AP screws, and we're going to take the housing, and looks like it maybe only fits this way. Yeah, the holes only line up that way. So we'll take that, and then let's go ahead and get a screw ready, like so, and let's get that screwed into place. Grab another screw here, and get this side into place like so. All right, we got one housing done. That was easy. Now, to save you the boredom of me doing 2 more on camera, I went ahead and screwed all 3 of them together. So we have all these ready to go. So let's go ahead and turn the page and see if that is indeed the next step, and it is. All right, so we're going to let's go ahead and get a screw ready here. Put that on there, and let's see how these fit in. So looks like it's those 2 mounts there, so it's got to go this way, right? Let's see what we got. Okay. Go ahead and get that in. Let's get one more. Get that one in. So easy. Even Garth Knight could do it. All right, next. I mean, clearly Garth Knight was smart, right? I mean, he had Goliath built, he orchestrated his evil scheme. So maybe Garth could assemble a model with relative ease from his African prison. I don't know. And finally, the last one for this side. I'd say the hardest part of this model is just, you know, when you have big hands or big fingers trying to get in here with these little screws, but honestly, this magnetic screwdriver really makes it easy. Okay, there we go. We got one side done. Look at that. And you can see the holes in the middle. I'm betting these are going to light up before all is said and done. It's my guess. Yeah, just don't know what that guy is right there. All right, so next step. Looks like we got a scanner lens and a scanner housing. So take our front nose. Looks like maybe those two screw holes there. Oh, look at that, fits right in. That's probably a good sign that we're on the right track, right? Back on. Whoops. See, I made a mistake. That's okay. We're going to leave it in. It looks like we put this on and also put this on. And then screw it all in with two screws, which totally makes more sense than what I was doing. So can we do this? Oh, can we do this? I mean, we can, but can we do it correctly? There we go. Just need a little persuasion. All right, so we got this lined up. We'll get this lined up like so. Get that little guy started right there. And get that put in. Let's get the screws tightened. Take a look at that. Now, of course, there'll be little LEDs in there, right, for the scanner to go back and forth. But boy, if that's not motivation to continue the build, I don't know what is. All right, so that's all. There's a biography, like I said, on Michael Knight. More information here. So yeah, look at that. We finished the first two sets. Now, there's one thing, of course, we have to do, because it's going to be a while before we get the rest done, I would think. But if we line these guys up, oh yeah, KITT coming alive. So awesome, so awesome. Stage 1, stage 2 complete. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I wasn't too long-winded, but you guys probably like hearing me talk, right? So let us know. Give us some feedback in the comments. I mean, do you like this new series? We are excited. We're gonna keep working, keep building this model on our channel over the coming months, and I think it's gonna be really something cool to see as it comes together. So hopefully you guys will follow along both on the channel and follow along maybe with your own subscription that you get from Fanhome.com.